Okay.
What's good, everybody? Thank you once more for joining us on our series, Attain Relevance within the parameters of God's perfect will. And today, I'm pretty excited to be joined by two beautiful people, all right, Chewe and Beatrice. So just going to share their thoughts regarding how to remain relevant in a perfect will and remain in the perfect will of God, all right? So, I don't know who's going to start. Chewe is going to give us his thoughts.
No problem.
Yeah.
So basically, when we're talking about staying relevant,
Yeah.
we introducing the concept of purpose. You know.
Yeah.
One thing we understand about purpose is purpose precedes conception, and that's why in the book of Jeremiah 1:5 he tells Jeremiah to say, even before I formed you, I already knew you.
Yeah.
Why? Because your purpose was already defined. He says, I ordained you a prophet. And that's even before conception.
Yeah.
So purpose precedes conception, and if that's the case, then man has an assignment to discover his purpose. Why? Because that's where his relevance is. Except you remain in your lane of purpose, relevance can never be attained. You see? So at the end of the day, it's not about trying to prove a point. Yeah, but it's all about staying relevant within your purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's not about proving a point, but God himself radiating through you also. And that's where purpose is made. Yeah.
Alright, so on that thought, I want you just to give a comment on the Joseph story from scripture, like marrying it with purpose and relevance and whatnot. So I want you to give a comment on that.
When you look at Joseph, basically, you understand that Joseph did have phases in his life. You know, he had times when his brothers never believed in his vision. He had times when even his father rebuked him for his vision, and we also had times when he was in the pit and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he was a prime minister. So staying relevant and sticking to purpose. If we look at Joseph, we realize that Joseph never aimed at proving a point. You know, staying in the pit, you know, for him wasn't about, you know, when God shows him all these things and people get to condemn him, he didn't give up on his dreams. Why? Because he knew there's a purpose behind it. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, he tells his brothers to say, what you meant for evil, God actually meant for good. You see? Yeah. And that's relevance, because at the end of the day, because they threw him in the pit, Potiphar picked him and was a connection to Pharaoh. And at the end of the day, he redeemed his family in the time of famine. And that's where relevance comes in. So relevance isn't all about what the world gets to see at the end of the day, but it's all about, you know, it's more like a need and a want. You know, relevant is not about when the world expresses what it wanted in you, but it's when it gets to experience what it needed through you.
Oh my goodness, awesome stuff, man, beautiful stuff. So Beatrice, I want you to just share your brief thoughts regarding this whole subject, alright? Yeah.
I think for me, I have quite a different view from Chewe. And mine will focus on obedience. Yeah, I think I will give an example of from Genesis 3, Adam and Eve. You know, those guys were made in the will of God. And he had set them in the garden there in his will. And then he tells them, this tree, do not. You know? So then, like, they disobeyed. And I think sometimes as Christians, you know, there are things that God has put far our reach. But then we try to sneak out of God's will and try to reach out to them, you know, and we lose ourselves, you know. So there is obedience to stay in God's will. And there is also obedience to do, you know. And an example is Jesus Christ. And in scripture you read Hebrews, you see God making him perfect through suffering, you know? And even though it's called perfect way, but then the process itself is not really that perfect. It's not so nice to be in, you know? You would want to come out, but then you see God shaping Jesus Christ's character through suffering, through challenges, you know? So even Christians, I think Christians nowadays are trying to dodge that fact, but it's important that we go through suffering. It's important that we encounter challenges, you know, and they vary from person to person. They come in different sizes, but then they're all for our good, you know, to shape us. And if we want to remain in God's will and attain that relevance, we need to be obedient, you know, to the point of going through suffering, you know, accepting suffering as God's will, you know. And as we come out of that suffering, like Chewe said, we are strengthened, We're here today, we're standing today, Chilengo, Chewe, You are a strength, you guys, to me, because you've been through something. God has shaped something in you, through various challenges. So I think as Christians, we should learn to embrace challenges. We see them in the parameters of God's will. I think it's important.
Awesome, man. This has been a dope session. Actually feels like we're in church or something, right? So thank you once more, you guys, for coming through and just to share your thoughts regarding relevance and God's will. And I believe everybody who's watching this is going to be blessed. You know what I'm saying? So may God bless you, and thank you for coming through. All right.